Question number 2, which is a cone. Now, a cone is a special type of pyramid where the base is a circle. And so therefore the shape of the sides that connect it are circular in the sense that they all connect together, much like a cylinder, except for, again, there's only one base. Okay, and so on my cone, we have our shape. And so therefore my height is indicated as 10 meters. And rather than having a perimeter, remember we're now going to have a circumference. Okay, and so our circumference circumference equals pi times diameter, remember? And so for in this scenario, we have pi times 5, and we'll leave it in terms of pi, so our circumference is 5 pi meters. Okay, good. Now we need to find our slant height. And we're going to find the slant height just like we found the slant height last time, because you see that we've created that triangle again. Okay, so we have 10 lateral area, and then again, 5 represents the whole thing, so therefore half would be 5 halves. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Slant height is always going to be your hypotenuse. So 10 squared plus 5 halves squared equals slant height squared. 10 squared is 100. Plus 5 squared is 25. 2 squared is 4. We need to combine like terms again. So thinking about this as a denominator of 1 means I would multiply the whole thing by 4. So 400 fourths plus 25 fourths equals slant height squared, which would give me 425 fourths. And then I gotta take the square root. Now, remember, you can take the square root of the top and the bottom. And so on the bottom, we know the square root of 4 is 2. Now on the top, 425, there looks to be a really common number that we could use to simplify it. Well, 425, is that going to be a factor of 25, which we know is a squared number or a perfect number? It is. The question is, 25 times what will give me 425? Well, we use our calculator, and we get the answer of 17. And so now we can simplify. Well, what's the square root of 25? 5. So 5 times the square root of 17 divided by 2 equals our slant height. Okay, let's move on to the area of the base. Okay, now remember, area of the base in this sense is a circle, so the area of my base is going to be pi r squared. So we get pi, and my radius is 5 halves squared. And we know that when we square 5 halves, we get 25 fourths. And since we're leaving this in terms of pi, we're just going to go ahead and rewrite it so that the 25 fourths is written in front. Okay, you also could write this as 25 pi divided by 4. Either way works. Okay. And because it's area, it's squared. Okay, now let's try our lateral area. Okay, lateral area. Okay, it's going to be slightly different because it's a cylinder, so it's going to be half the circumference times the slant height. But again, we found those information, so we just need to substitute and simplify. So half the circumference, which was 5 pi, times the slant height, which was 5 times the square root of 17 divided by 2. So we're going to simplify. Now, what I would say is the easiest is to multiply what is in the numerator. So it'd be 1, 5, and 5, and square root of 17. So it'd be 25 pi square root of 17 divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. Now that looks pretty that looks pretty complicated, but it's actually as simplified as it can be. We can't simplify 25 fourths, so therefore that is our answer. Okay, now let's move on to surface area. And that formula stays the same from pyramids, which is lateral area plus base. So lateral area, 25 pi square root of 17 fourths plus a base of 25 fourths pi. Now, look, they have the same denominator, so we can actually combine this, but we can't actually combine the numerators. Because this is multiplied by square root of 17, I can't combine the pi's. And so the simplified version is 25 pi square root of 17 plus 25 pi all divided by 4. So even though it's slightly simplified, it is simplified by just having one denominator written. Now remember, anytime you're multiplying by a square root, you cannot simplify with something else that doesn't have it. Oh. And we'll go with meters squared. Just had to write it a little bit further out. And last but not least, volume. Okay, volume is 1/3 base times height. 1/3 times a base of 25 fourths pi times a height of 10. Okay, go ahead and multiply. We get 250 pi divided by 12. Multiply 25 by 10 and 3 times 4. And this doesn't simplify completely, but it can be reduced. And that fraction would simplify to be 125 6 pi. Meters cubed. Okay, and that is how we do our cone.